Great, great, guys. Here's a decision that I have to make almost every day, all right? Do I get a Coke or do I get a Coke Zero, all right? Because one of them contains sugar and the other one contains artificial sweetener, right? So one causes obesity and the other one causes cancer. Well, no one's gonna make fun of me for having cancer. Guess I'll have the Coke Zero. So that's the first joke. I've always been a real messy guy, but I've since moving in with my girlfriend, I've become much neater. Like, right, I think she cares about cleanliness, so that's kind of made me want to start doing dishes and doing laundry and shit like that. And so now we live in an adult apartment with my adult girlfriend, thankfully, and we have an adult level of cleanliness in the apartment, right? That is until my girlfriend leaves me alone in the apartment for even just one night. Then it's chaos once again, right? And that's made me realize that my girlfriend's a lot like Saddam Hussein. Right? He said it's not until she's gone that you realize she was really bringing stability to the area. Alright, that was the second one. Guys, I've put on some weight recently, and I found out now that I'm now officially fatter than my dad. My dad, who's older than me. Old enough to be my dad. I think it's exciting for my girlfriend though, because you know you can like look at your partner's parents and see what they're gonna look like in 25 years. She can look at my dad and go, better. It's pretty exciting for her. That doesn't really bother me. Look, this is where my gut's at the moment. I don't really mind it too much. I think maybe I'd like to find a way to maybe make it look nicer, but without having to lose the weight thing. Right, so I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna get the hair removed, you know, kind of give it that nice shiny look. But I don't want to go like to a beautician's. I want to go somewhere where like a man gets hair removed. So I'm thinking like middle of a paddock, corrugated iron shed. You go in there, there's a guy in there called Wayne with like a blue singlet on, who just, as you walk in, he just takes you under the knee, lays you on your back, and then he just shears you. And flips on the other side. No. And then he just releases you into a pen with a whole bunch of other bald men. You know, that's all your pubes. I don't know much shearing imagery you know about. Anyway, that's phase one, right? Phase two could go two ways. Either after that, I could honey glaze it. I could put some white netting over it, like that, right? You know, people don't like fat, but they love ham. Right? Or if that's not your thing, the other option is, you know how like you can fold your gut into an ass? So I've discovered through doing this bit that that's not as common a knowledge as I thought it was. So I have to show you. So it's kind of like this, isn't it? So it's kind of like that. Well, I'm thinking about making that like a permanent fixture, you know, like have a second/decoy ass, you know. So you got two eyes, why not have a backup ass? Right? Then we could leave this uncovered at nighttime, find out if people are doing things to your ass without you knowing. Because you don't know, right? All the evidence gets lost in the abyss back there. This way we're kind of collecting there, right? Which is gross. And it's not that I got a problem with people doing things to asses. I'm sure that can be very pleasant, right? It's just the not knowing that's killing me. You know, when I wrote this bit, I thought, oh no, I better not lose too much weight, because then I won't be able to do this bit anymore. Luckily, 2 years has passed. And it's only gotten worse. Look, I think my thing is that people always talk about, like, this is my favorite role here. And look, see what there? Little shelf there, little pot plant on there. Sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to be cutting out some people there, but missing out on these great roles. I think it's just people always talk about, like, sculpting their body, but they always sculpt it into a muscly person. You can sculpt it into anything you want. Look at this. It's an equal sign. It's like the Adidas stripes. I can do any number of parallel lines up to about 4. Oh wait, yeah, I've been working on a smiley face. You're gonna get the eyes out for that. Hang on. To me, it looks more like a stingray's face. Alright, I stand on that bit. Alright, I got one more bit. Guys, thanks, one person applauding. Guys, I have orgasms, hold your applause. But recently I acquired the ability to induce an orgasm in another person, which is pretty great. I'm 32. And it's a woman, which is the more difficult one. Finally cracked the code. You guys can call me the code breaker. You guys can call me the code breaker. Obviously not through penetration, but you gotta learn how to crawl before you can learn how to fuck. And what's crazy is that in the past, right, I've had relationships that have lasted for years, right, and I thought that I'd made somebody orgasm, but I realize now that I totally hadn't, because back then I didn't know what an orgasm looked like, but now I know what an orgasm looks like. Like now I know that the woman's body kind of tenses up, you know, and then she lets out like a big sigh, and then she goes, okay, you can stop now. And you're like, what? Who the man? Who the man? Who the man? Like that, you write the date down in your diary. I guess it's just, it can be very confronting as a young man, being faced with a vagina. You know, it can often look like it's giving you a disapproving look. Yeah, it's very specific where a lady needs to be touched. You know, even if you're like a millimeter off, you may as well be across the room waving at her for however she's doing it. Anyway, I don't know, yeah. I was in a relationship with one girl for 3 years, right, and she never mentioned that it wasn't happening for her, which means that in her mind she was going, look, I care about this guy, but he can't do that for me, but I guess I'll just live with that, right? And to me that thought is so sad. Like, it's so sad that it must just go in the same part of your brain as like the knowledge of your own mortality. And that part of your brain there you don't really look at that often. But then occasionally you do, you go like, oh yeah, that's right, it can't make me come. Oh well, at least I'll die one day. That'll be the sweetest release of all. Alright, well thank you very much.